Well, on today's Wednesday walkabout, I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to continue with the video that we did over the weekend where I was showing the beginnings of my holiday decorating and my kind of living room and dining room refresh. I showed you the living room on the last tour, and now on this interior walkabout, I'm going to show you my dining room. Now, a lot of you saw a peek of it in last week's video, and you expressed some dismay that I had done away with my red walls. Well, I loved my red walls. I had them for quite a long time. It was a real Ralph Lauren look. And if you missed ever seeing my red walls, they were exactly the same hue, only in a flat paint with a finish over them. But I decided to redo them for a number of different reasons. Not so much because I felt they were dated, because colored walls are really now just coming back in, but primarily because it absorbs so much light. And one of my motivations in redoing everything is to infuse more light into my house, because I would never paint my mahogany woodwork, but it just really can get very dark in here. And so this sage green is called Svelte Sage. Many of you asked. It's kind of a beigey sage color, sage green. I selected it largely because of well, first of all, it went with the other walls in my home, both in the living room and in my breakfast room, but also because I thought it looked beautiful with this painting, which, by the way, we've had for years, and I can't give you a source on that. And also, I love the contrast with my deep red shades, and also now the deep red cabinet. So that was really my motivation. Plus, I just like the fact that it just makes things feel a little more fresh. Stuart, be careful over there, don't hurt yourself. It just makes things feel a little bit more fresh, and I like that. So to continue with some other things we did, and by the way, let me tell you again, that is Svelte Sage by Sherwin Williams. My friend Bruce, whom has been my painter forever and ever and ever, he did this for me. So a couple of other things. I want to show you this, because this, I've told you about what I consider to be a seasonal seasonal transgression when you have both pumpkins out with holiday decor. Well, this is not necessarily a seasonal transgression. These are just waiting to be put away, because what I like to do with some of my pumpkins, this year it's going to be all of my white mini pumpkins. I'm going to save those because I like to bring them back out again in January. I think they kind of have a cold weather feel to them, and it's hard to discard pumpkins that are still in good shape. So I'm going to put these away along with some of the beautiful prized leaves that I preserved this last fall, and I will bring those back out in January. I also just love the way the different colors of the painting, the butterflies and everything look against this beautiful, beautiful green. So that is that. Now, here is my question of the day. When you are decorating, let's say you're putting flower arrangements or live greenery around your home, and I know some of you cannot do it because of allergies, but if you use live greenery, as I have used it here, this is one of my favorite ways to use it, is tucked into my chandeliers, is tucked behind portraits and artwork. Do you do that throughout the holiday season? Do you wait till just before Christmas to keep it fresh? Or do you insert it to get the look and the festive feel, and then you just replenish it as it kind of dries out? This weekend I went to a friend's house and I harvested lots of juniper branches with their beautiful blue juniper berries on here, and I love the way it looks. I might do something else to this chandelier, which, by the way, is one that you may have seen in at Mockingbird Manor when we were there a while ago. If you haven't watched that, you can go back and watch that video. So there may be a little bit more zhuzhing that I'm going to do to this chandelier, but not just yet. So let me talk a little bit about the flower arrangement I have on my table. Now, you guys, or y'all if you're from the South. This is a week and a half old now, and it could not have been easier to put together. I had a container that had some Oasis, some floral foam in it that I don't use typically when I construct my own originally, but I do save it if I get flower arrangements that have it as a component. And I saved it and I tucked it in this wonderful bronzed urn that I got from my friend Nev. And then I inserted just in layers these ingredients. So this is, the bottom ingredients is just some greenery that I got at Trader Joe's. Obviously you could get it from your garden. I then snipped some branches of Nandina from my own garden and I inserted it in here. Then the next layer, which I kind of entwined and insinuated into the Nandina in the layer below, consists of some seeded eucalyptus that I also got at Trader Joe's. You can get it at your florist. You can get it a multitude of different places. And I often save it from one season to the next, in some cases even 1 year to the next, because it dries beautifully. And then my last layer that I put in were these gorgeous oriental lilies. And you can see they are still going strong. And as far as holiday flowers go, I think they give you more bang for your buck than almost any cut flower that you can buy. So all I have to do to refresh this is just refresh the greenery. I'll recut the lilies and I think it'll be absolutely beautiful. And then Hubs brought me home one time from a trip a bouquet of some really gorgeous branches. So I've stuck a few in there because I love the way they look with the interior, the sepals of these lilies. Now, these can really stain your clothing, you guys, so you want to be careful that you don't come in contact with them, or your napkins or table linens don't come in contact with them. If by some chance they do, then get a little bit of masking tape and just dab it, because if you wipe it, it will just spread that stain. And then I tucked in just some additional glossy leaves that I had. Now, this is a little bit past its prime, but I wanted to show it to you because I wanted to convey just how long lasting it was. So easily this could probably go into 2 weeks, but I'm going to refresh it for the coming week. And remember, December 17th is my kind of cutoff date when my son gets home that I want everything to look great by. And then obviously there's candlelight. Now, another thing that I have done, which was just so much fun. Stuart, was that you binging, or was that a message coming in from Santa?
Just me.
Just you?
On silent now.
I have never, I shouldn't say I have never. I infrequently polish my silver because I like the way it looks kind of tarnished. But this year, because I wanted more sparkle, more light, I really polished a number of my silver pieces before Thanksgiving, and I love the way it looks. And so I have just been on kind of a polishing spree, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in an upcoming video. But I also cleaned all of my crystal, and everything now just feels so fresh and dust-free. Gives me just a little jolt of joy. Okay, so over here in my south-facing dining room window, this always becomes kind of a little bit of a mini greenhouse during the winter for my topiary, for emerging amaryllis. I've got a lot that I'm starting from Breck's bulbs. These are already in bloom, and I've got more that I'm going to give as gifts and that I have yet to start, that I will pot up in hopes that they will brighten up my January versus the holidays. But this is where some of my tiny myrtle or tiny leaved myrtle compacta topiaries go. These, I'm sure you guys recognize these laurels that I dug up from my yard. These topiaries I've had for years. I've got a lemon cypress topiary here. A lot of you ask, where do I get my topiaries? Well, right now is a very opportune time to look for them because different places, whether it's your garden center at your home improvement store, your local florist, your local farmer's market, Trader Joe's, your local grocery store, a lot of them will be carrying topiaries for the holidays. And so you want to take advantage of them. I actually buy them now more for spring and summer in the growing season, but a lot of them are not cold hardy and have to be brought in. And so that's kind of what's going on in here. I am very, very, very careful about when I water. I never water them while they are in place here because I don't in any way want to damage this mahogany woodwork. So I bring them into the kitchen, I saturate them really well and make sure that they are dried out before they come back in. And this will get a little bit more zhuzhing as time goes on. And if you guys are using any kind of moss, or if you've got any kind of houseplant that you're bringing in that really needs to be watered a lot and can dry out in the very dry air of the inside of our homes with our heat blasting, then you might want to get some of those mosquito bits so that you can sprinkle them to avoid any kind of fungus gnats. I've mentioned that before, but thought it might be worth mentioning again. And then, Stuart, if you can very, very gingerly back up, you should see how wide Stuart's eyes just got. And by the way, Stuart does such a great job, but if by chance he should break something, if he should trip over something, none of that, I mean, obviously, you don't want to have anything broken, but nothing is as precious as his own neck. So as long as you don't break anything, including your own neck, Stuart, then I think we're good to go. But all this other stuff is easily replaceable, unlike you. So some of you asked and spied that I had gotten the bar cart that I saw at Mockingbird Manor. Again, you can go back and watch that video. And I did, and I'm gonna do a whole video on bar styling. And when I say bar cart styling, I mean styling, it can be with alcoholic beverages, it can be a tea cart, it can be a hot chocolate cart, it could be for nothing but desserts during the holidays. It's really fun to have something like this where you can, I love mobile furniture. It's one of the reasons I really like campaign furniture, but anything that's mobile that you can move from one place to another, including your bedroom if you're sick or something like that, that you can load up with all sorts of things you might need. So I'm going to be decking this out for the holidays, and I'll show that to you because this is going to be a really fun project. I also want to show you two things that I had in storage that I can't believe I forgot about them, but I did, and I want to show them to you. So these are two wooden angels. And my second mother was very Irish, and she would call all of her grandchildren, and actually her children in general, she would call them little Irish angels. And one year for Christmas, I gave her these beautiful wooden sculpted characters. I think they're absolutely dear. And when we cleaned out her house, I got them back, and I had forgotten that I had them because I had them in storage. This year I've brought them out again, and I'm going to make some little evergreen wreaths, little halos to put on their sweet heads. And then I need to decide where to put them. Look at their sweet little toes. So I think these are dear. If you've got any kind of ideas, if you know my house or kind of know my house of where I should display them, then put that in the comments below. Please make sure to read other people's comments. Don't forget to answer my question of the day about live greenery that you use in your home. When do you put it out? And actually, what is your favorite greenery? Do you like arborvitae, juniper branches, holly, or is it just whatever you happen to have in your own landscape? Please let me know that. And we're on the countdown now, you guys. We don't have that many days left until the big day, which for me, remember, is December 17th. And as a little surprise, maybe you'll get to meet my Johnny, maybe even my younger son, Jamie. So there you go. You guys have a great Wednesday. You've got a little bit of the week left to prepare for the weekend, and I hope it's a good one. Bye-bye. Well, here is your fashion epilogue for today. My earrings, I just got these yesterday at Target, and I really, really love them. They're lightweight and yet still make a statement, I think. My top is thrifted. It's Ralph Lauren. I got it at Goodwill. And here is a tip about a really if you're ever struggling to find out what to put with or pair with a bottom, whether it's a skirt, jeans, slacks, whatever, always a crisp white shirt will do the trick. And so I have a whole wardrobe of crisp, that's hard to say, crisp white shirts, most of which I have thrifted. This one is thrifted. It's Ralph Lauren from Goodwill. As is this fabulous, fabulous skirt. This, what you talk about a find. I got this at Goodwill for maybe $4, and I want to show you because it still came with the tag on it. Look, you guys. It was a $256 skirt, never been worn, from, what's the place called? Art Fashion, Art Museum, anyhow. It even still had the care tag for it attached to it. So this is really in the category of a great score. I love this skirt. It's got that real Western vibe that I like. My boots were a gift from Hubs from last year, my cowboy boots. My necklace is homemade. A friend of mine and I made a bunch of these kind of boho necklaces a while back. And Stuart, we have a request for you to start highlighting my bracelets and showing close-ups of my bracelets a little bit more. This one I got at, I don't remember where I got it, and I don't remember where I got this one. This one was a gift from my sister. It's one of those drawstring bracelets, and my ring came from Madewell. So there you go. There is my fashion epilogue for today.